So this is the test setup. I pulled it out of the car, and I have it set up on this cart here. I'm running it off of a power supply instead of a battery, hooked up there, and over on the table that you can't see is where I got the display and everything hooked up. I haven't seen this view for a while. I have a little bit of work here to make things feel a little bit better, and I'm still considering maybe hiring well, semi-professional or an artist or something better than me to make this bane look nicer than this. So one of the tricks we used to use back in the audio days is use a light bulb as a PTC. So before I turn this thing on for the first time, I'm putting a light bulb in series, and I've got a battery that I'm going to turn on that solenoid with so I can get away from it real quick if I have to. Eventually I got tired of alligator clipping wires together to turn things on, so I made some little boards with buttons to control things. Dashboard. I wander around a bit, humming and hawing, wondering what should happen and why it doesn't turn on. It's another view that hasn't been seen in a while, but those are the row of capacitors I'm worried about, and a bunch more capacitors. So, and then each one of these three phases has capacitors on it. So, chances of one letting go on me are kind of high. I had an epiphany. Before I hooked up the battery and turned it on, I hooked up my little power supply here and hooked it right there and right there, so it's right across the other side of this contactor, and it sucked about 10 amps down and only went up a volt. Put a meter on it, put it across what looks like the positive and negative bus bars down there. As you can see what that looks like there, it's dead short. So I'm guessing maybe one of these capacitors is no longer capacitating, but to double check that, I have another one. Took the lid off of this one, and surprise, it's been part of the parts department apparently. When I put my meter across the bus bars on the other one, it was not a short. So I think I'm going to move this one over there, change the board out, and see if that does anything. My concern is there's a bunch of adjustments on this thing. How much you want to bet that you have to adjust something when you change the board? I ran up the power supply a few times in an attempt to recapacitate the capacitors. Seems to have worked. Well, it turned on, and there's no poofs. stuff is happening. I still see no motor data. Ooh, now I have motor data. How about that? That was your reverse, I believe. So the drive is green, but it's the reverse coming on. So the neutral button's wrong. They swapped with the middle button. The middle button's reversed. The top button's drive, but it's all wacko. But ooh, that's more than I wanted. The only break I got is to run it backwards. Okay, I have this charge part plugged in. This is supposed to be able to do V to G. Let's see what happens when I hit start charge. I'm going to grab this so I can read it. I have a kilowatt hooked up to this, and I have it set to only 10 amps. See what it does. Start charge. 2 amps, 4 amps, 7 amps, 9 amps, 9.62 amps. Holy crap. It is freaking charging. It even has meters for kilowatts on there. But I have 9.65 amps. And nothing has exploded. Let's see what my battery voltage is. Fascinating. I get a whole different bunch of menu stuff on here. Oh, there's an amperage there too.